Hello, I'm Tom Williams from the Fort Huachuca Public Affairs Office, and this is your Fort Report.
Here's a look back at the year in review. A departure ceremony was held for the soldiers, family members, and friends of Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 11th Theater Tactical Signal Brigade at the Murrah Community Center on Fort Huachuca. The soldiers are en route to Afghanistan and are looking forward to the deployment.
As far as preparedness, I think we're in it to win it, and we're ready to go and get this thing started.
I'm excited for it. Should be a good experience, and we got a really good team, and I think we're going to be able to do some great things.
The leadership of the Signal Corps on Fort Huachuca spoke to the gathering.
I just want to say good luck. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. We know you're well trained and ready for this mission. It's an exciting mission. It's an exciting time in Afghanistan. But I'm asking you to be safe, secure, and follow your discipline. Don't worry about these folks back here. We got them.
Anytime I get an opportunity to talk to the family members, I always want to reassure them that we are here standing ready to assist them in anything they need. And bottom line, we enlist soldiers in the military, but we retain families. And this installation has proven time and time again that they're here for the family members as the soldiers deploy. So soldiers, as you're moving out, just rest assured that your family's going to be taken care of. And families, just rest assured that you got an installation that's here to take care of you as well.
To the mighty 11th Signal Brigade Headquarters, who has gotten a little bit smaller but more mightier, 70 guys deploying. We've worked hard to get here where we're at, and I will tell you, this is my 6th deployment, and I'm not just saying this because I'm in front of a large group here, but this is the best team I've ever deployed with. So it's a true honor for me to be stepping on that bus with you today and deploying. And I know that the over 1,500 Signal soldiers in Afghanistan right now that we will be responsible for, we will see to, and we'll be supporting Headquarters for, they're going to be in great hands. Because this is a great team, and you guys are ready to bring it and get after it in Afghanistan, and I'm ready to do it with you. So really appreciate your hard work and your support as we go forward.
The soldiers then boarded buses and were escorted to Libby Army Airfield by American Legion riders. At the airfield, the soldiers were issued weapons and then boarded a plane. Once the soldiers arrive at their final destination, they'll support the Joint Network Operations Control Center, which extends throughout Southwest Asia. HHC 11th Signal Brigade is scheduled to be deployed for 1 year. Fort Huachuca honored its top performers at the Installation Awards banquet at the Thunder Mountain Activity Center. The U.S. Army Garrison Fort Huachuca commander made the opening remarks.
First, thanks to our competitors and their leaders for mentoring and supporting these great individuals. Secondly, I'd like to recognize the Garrison soldiers for making this night possible. Sergeant Major Soriano led a great group of First Sergeants de Leon, right there. Who says First Sergeants don't lead the way by plane? First Sergeant Williams, Yorgi, Master Sergeants Harris, and Ireland. All those folks made it possible. These professionals are responsible for the best warrior competition that will recognize tonight's Fort Huachuca Best Soldier and NCO. Also adding to the flair is the Select Honor Guard, the band, FMWR, TMAC, and let's not forget our hard-working protocol office. They all contribute to this great event, and I'd like to just publicly thank them for putting this on. Lastly, but equally important, are our community sponsors and volunteers that donate to this event and make it extra special for our awardees.
The commander of the Intelligence Center of Excellence and Fort Huachuca then addressed the gathering.
I think events like tonight are critically important, where we recognize excellence. We try and foster that both in our military and civilian, and I think it's appropriate that we stop every once in a while and recognize those individuals for their superior performance. It allows us to recognize the best and the most hardworking.
The awardees were then honored as Officer Scott Hatfield was recognized as the Civilian of the Year. Sarah Rhodes is the Margaret C. Corbin Award recipient. Staff Sergeant Matthew Arnold was named the Instructor of the Year. Staff Sergeant Willie Cheesebro is the Marine of the Year. The Sailor of the Year is Petty Officer 2nd Class Anthony Freshour. The Active Duty Reserve and Recruiters of the Year are Staff Sergeants Daniel Mabey and Nicholas Chadwick. The Best Warrior Soldier of the Year is Specialist Jacob Stockman. And the best warrior, non-commissioned officer of the year, is Sergeant John Bateman. The honorees received a variety of gifts from donors both on and off post. Since the Middle Ages, musicians and composers have been using paper sheet music to play songs and write down notes. Now, there's an app for that. And members of Fort Huachuca's 62nd Army Band Brass Quintet haven't missed a beat when it comes to keeping up with technology. The soldiers have replaced the paper with a tablet computer.
It's a great device to use for our music. We can put all the music into this iPad and literally have it at our fingertips.
There's no need for the musicians to turn pages now, as there's a foot pedal accessory that wirelessly attaches to the tablet. And if all else fails, the next page is a finger swipe away. For these soldiers who grew up with computers, there wasn't much of a learning curve.
And it took about a week before we could be really comfortable loading up the music onto the iPad and then creating playlists for each individual gig that we play or ceremony job.
Other advantages the band members report: the tablets are smaller than a sheet music stand, so the audience has a better view of their performance. There's no need for lights when they perform in dark rooms, and the tablets make it really easy to take requests. One final note, the quintet believes they're currently the only Army musicians using this technology, and now it's just a simple click so they all can stay on the same sheet of music. A departure ceremony was held for the soldiers of the Quick Reaction Capability Unit from 2nd Battalion, 13th Aviation Regiment at a hangar on Libby Army Airfield on Fort Huachuca. The soldiers are deploying to Afghanistan to support Operation Enduring Freedom.
I couldn't be prouder of each and every one of you. You have confidence in your training because you know what you're doing. Be safe, take care of your buddies, take care of each other. And as I just told you, 99% of the things that you do in garrison, you're going to do in combat. So no shortcuts.
The soldiers are Gray Eagle unmanned aircraft system instructor operators and pilots.
The Gray Eagle is a UAS, an unmanned aerial system that is employed to conduct reconnaissance missions for troops on the ground.
In Afghanistan, the soldiers will be attached to the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment Airborne. The mission is expected to last for 1 year.
We're more than ready to go out and deploy. Thank you very much to our family and friends and to the American people that support us every day.
After bidding farewell to loved ones, the soldiers boarded a bus and were escorted on the first leg of their deployment by members of the Patriot Guard Riders. The Fort Huachuca Directorate of Emergency Services dedicated and cut the ribbon to a new fire station number 2 on Fort Huachuca. A former fire chief spoke at the event.
This fire station, it's a building, and it's a beautiful building. It's a wonderful building. There's a lot of fingerprints that went to make this happen. From the garrison, from the senior command, from Congressman Giffords. I remember over a MAC luncheon 3 years ago, and just the excitement in her voice that this was happening.
And then the ribbon was cut to mark the opening of the new facility. The new fire station number 2 replaces a modified Quonset hut that was built in 1941. The 16,000 square foot 2-company fire station is located at the corner of Irwin Street and Squire Avenue. Fort Huachuca partnered with the Sierra Vista Public Library to celebrate the 237th Army birthday with a story hour. A soldier read the Army birthday book to local children.
Who knows who George Washington is?
The first president of the United States.
Wow. Did you know he was in the Army too? Yeah. Before he was president, he was a soldier who fought to make our country free. He spent a lot of time away from his family. Because my dad is a soldier, he has to leave home sometimes, just like George Washington.
And a military working dog handler and his canine were special guests at the event and also read to the children.
On Monday, Sam had a dream. He dreamed he was a big, huge Labrador retriever. who joined the Army National Guard. His fur was black and he had a powerful nose. In his dream, there was a big snowstorm, and Sam helped the National Guard sniff out people who needed help. He knew that rescuing people was an important Army job, and in his dream, he felt like a hero.
The following morning, soldiers on Fort Huachuca celebrated with an Army birthday run and walk that began in the Eifler Sports Plaza. The participants began the event to the strains of the 62nd Army Band. And the commanding general of the Intelligence Center of Excellence and Fort Huachuca spoke.
And it's very important to recognize each year the rebirth of our Army. And for 237 years, your Army, the People's Army, has defended our Constitution, has supported and defended the people of this nation, and most importantly, has defended the freedoms that we all cherish. And as a soldier, when we take that oath, that's a pretty important oath. And I'm proud to be associated with the young men and women who joined not only our Army, but joined the armed forces.
The celebration concluded with a cake cutting featuring the youngest and oldest soldier. Command of the 111th Military Intelligence Brigade changed at a ceremony on Chaffee Parade Field on Fort Huachuca. Outgoing Commander Colonel Angelia Farnell passed the brigade's colors to the commander of the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence and Fort Huachuca, Major General Greg Potter, who then passed the colors to the incoming brigade commander, Colonel Richard Menard. General Potter reflected on Colonel Farnell's time as the brigade's commander.
Always the mentor, Angie has sought every opportunity to give back to our future generations by sharing the knowledge she has gained through a dedicated career in service to our nation. She sought ways to ensure brigade operated with fiscal responsibility and instilled those principles down to the lowest level. Angie has successfully streamlined processes in an environment of constrained resources, saving the government millions of dollars through the effective implementation of a revitalized command supply discipline program.
General Potter then welcomed Colonel Menard.
The good thing about the Army is that there's always a leader standing to take your place. And we are extremely fortunate to welcome no stranger to the brigade, Colonel Mike and Amy Menard, back as he takes the brigade to the next level. Mike, I know you're completely rested after having spent a year at the War College, so I know you're ready to go, and that's good because I'm going to fill your rucksack up as we get started. Veronica and I wish you and Amy all the best, and we look forward to working with you and getting to know you in the weeks to come.
The outgoing commander then addressed the gathering.
To my command teams, past and present, thank you for being such an outstanding professional group of individuals and soldiers, and for taking care of the future leaders of our Army. Over the past 2 years, I've had the honor and privilege to serve with an outstanding group of people. I could not have asked, nor could I have handpicked a better group of command teams and staff members. I sincerely thank you for what you do every day, and I know you will continue to do the same.
The incoming commander made remarks.
I will close by telling each of the young soldiers standing in formation today who are hoping for exemplary leadership, to learn a valuable skill, and to become part of a winning team. 25 years ago, a young soldier named Private Mike Menard arrived at this intelligence center and school, hoping for those very same things. I want each of you to know that Command Sergeant Major Ramsey and I are committed to assembling the best cadre and faculty in the Army, to delivering the most realistic training possible, and to establishing an environment where everyone is committed to the mission, the team, and each other. We will accept nothing less. All policies and procedures remain in effect. Army strong, always out front, mission first.
And the service members on the field passed in review. Command of the U.S. Army Network Enterprise Technology Command changed at a ceremony on Brown Parade Field on Fort Huachuca. The outgoing commander, Major General Jennifer Napper, passed the unit colors to Lieutenant General Rhett Hernandez, the commanding general of the U.S. Army Cyber Command and 2nd Army, who then passed the colors to the incoming commander, Major General Alan Lynn. General Hernandez spoke about General Napper's time on Fort Huachuca.
Her determination to take the load off of our soldiers and her commitment to the vision of one network have been hallmarks of her command. She has taken huge challenges and made them tremendous opportunities. She's been invaluable to me, the Army Cyber Command and mission, and to our Army. I know Lieutenant General Lawrence would agree with me when I say there is none better.
He then greeted the incoming commander.
Alan and Brooke, welcome to the NetCom and Army Cyber Command family. Alan needs no introduction. He's a gifted professional and a talented leader. He has my absolute trust and confidence. I've watched him in action for years, and I'm excited about the opportunity to serve.
The outgoing commander made remarks.
I want to personally and publicly thank the NetCom soldiers and civilians for never forgetting to put Southwest Asia and our missions there first. For all the many achievements that General Hernandez discussed, for building partnership across the Army and the joint community, including DISA, for embracing the year of execution for 2 straight years, and for doing everything in your power to get inside the heads of all those we support to provide them all the capabilities they need.
And the incoming commanding general addressed the gathering.
It's an absolute honor to be selected to command again, and especially to command NetCom, the premier signal and cyber enterprise. What an honor to follow such groundbreaking and historic leaders such as General Grombacher, General McKnight, General Rogers, General Kine, General Rush, General Hilton, General Pollitt, General Lawrence, just to name a few, and now General Napper. Many of the names you just heard are in the retired roles, and it is these and many other veterans who have set us up for success. We stand on the shoulders of giants.
B Troop, 4th U.S. Cavalry Memorial, wrapped up the ceremony with a pistol charge across the parade field. The world's most beloved Muppets, part of the Sesame Street USO experience for military families, made a stop at Fort Huachuca to perform 4 shows at Barnes Fieldhouse for the military community. The show features a new character named Katie, a military child. The storyline has Elmo and his Sesame Street pals helping Katie open up about her fears and excitement in dealing with change and making new friends after her parents' deployment.
It's a scary thing. It can be a big challenge for military families. 1 out of every 3 military families moves every year. And, you know, the kids that are this age, this is when they're just learning how to make friends, and having to move to a new place is a big challenge. So we hope it's just a resource for the families that they can have this conversation with their kids.
14 people make up the production company. The show made its debut in 2008 and has played in 33 states and 11 countries, with each location having a different type of setup and conditions.
We usually play in gyms or theaters, but we've played in hangars, we've played in ballrooms. In Turkey last year, we played in a tiny little ballroom and had to basically create the entire place. It's fun, though. That's half the challenge for us, and half of the adventure is trying to figure it out new every day.
The United Services Organization, or USO, produces and finances the show.
Sesame Street knows kids. We know military families and how to do entertainment for military folks, and so it's a natural fit.
After the Fort Huachuca performances, the show moves to Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, then heads east to educate and entertain military families at most major military installations throughout the South, from here to Florida. Vista Communities and Michael's Military Housing have begun opening the final phase of new family housing in Signal Village on Fort Huachuca.
And here we are now, finally delivering homes now for senior officers in field grade after so many years starting junior enlisted, senior NCOs, company grade officers. Now we're basically completing the spectrum. And I think when you just look around, you come down to Arizona, and you get to feel the weather swings and hot and cold in the day, and then you see the mountains. You just can't get a better setting for someone to live.
The new units are being built by R.L. Workman Homes, a firm that has more than 40 years of ties to Southeast Arizona.
This has been quite a blessing for us and our entire community because it stayed here because of the opportunity we were given. It's our subcontractors, it's the local community. And on their behalf, I want to say thank you and I'm grateful. Lastly, I want to express it's been my honor and my privilege to serve.
When completed, the new homes will add 44 units to Fort Huachuca's housing inventory.
Two questions that go through everybody's mind in this order when they get PCS orders. What's the command like and how's housing? Living on post means less stress for the family. It means security during deployments. It means camaraderie of our culture. Well, I believe Michael's, Mr. Workman, the entire staff here is delivered.
A ribbon was then cut to officially mark the opening of Signal Village. Let's head out to the 4th edition of the Turkey Bowl flag football rivalry game, where soldiers from military intelligence in blue took on a Signal soldier team in orange at the Eifler Sports Complex on Fort Huachuca. Signal was looking for its second win in a row as they won last year's contest. The teams traded possessions a few times, and the first quarter ended in a scoreless tie. MI got on the board first with this pass from John Logan to number 13, Isaac Cummings. The extra point was no good, and MI had the lead 6-0. Signal was unable to answer, and MI promptly marched down the field again, capping the drive off with this pass from Logan to wide receiver Kyle Dietrich, and MI increased their lead 12-zip. Signal took possession of the ball and began a drive down the field. Then, with lightning speed, number 25, Mark Bodorf, picked Signal quarterback Marcus Thomas, and MI was up 18-0, and that's the way the half ended. During halftime, results of the food drive were announced.
And the winner of the donation drive is 111th with 6,856 cans. Thank you very much.
And the Garrison Command Sergeant Major introduced the winners of the Best Warrior competition.
The winner, Sergeant Joshua Guzman, U.S. Army Medic. Best Warrior NCO, Sergeant Mark Crosby, U.S. Army Medic.
Early in the second half, MI was knocking on the door, and Logan and Cummings connected again for a score, and that put the 111th up 24-0. Signal was finally able to get on the board when Marcus Thomas threw this short pass to Jason Godfrey and drew closer to MI 24-6. In the fourth quarter, Signal changed quarterbacks, and Shelby Grant let loose with this prayer, and it was promptly picked by who else but number 13, Isaac Cummings. Signal did manage to draw a bit closer as All-Army athlete Dexter Avery took over as quarterback and threw a strike to Shelby Grant. And that's the way the game would end as MI retakes the Turkey Bowl 24-12.
We have a good defense. It's a whole team effort. We had some schemes that we switched up based off what they was doing on offense, and that allowed me to make some plays.
The fort's commanding general handed out the iron. Task Force Signal is back. A plane carrying 60 soldiers from Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 11th Theater Tactical Signal Brigade, arrived at Fort Huachuca's Libby Army Airfield just in time for the holidays. The soldiers returned to Arizona after about a year deployed to Afghanistan and the Southwest Asia area of operations. The returning soldiers boarded buses and were escorted by military police and motorcyclists to Mara Community Center, where family and friends anxiously awaited their return.
Ladies and gentlemen, the soldiers of
The Deputy Commanding General of 3 Corps and Fort Hood addressed the gathering.
Providing communications in a difficult, complex theater like Afghanistan is not an easy task. And they had that multiplied by a theater that's been drawing down. And Colonel Dedham and his team has done some outstanding work, making sure the troops, the commands on the ground, had that ability to communicate so they could move and they could shoot and they could do the things that they needed to do to assist Afghanistan and be in a better place.
The soldiers then reunited with their family and friends.
To your families, dismissed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony. Please join us in the lobby for refreshments while you visit the home of Michael Thank you.
It went well. It went extremely well. Better than we thought. We got a lot of stuff done.
It was definitely everything that I thought it would be and more. Couldn't imagine it being with a different unit. This is a unit that taught me a lot. I learned a lot from a lot of different people, and I got a lot of memories to keep forever.
I'm happy, a little disoriented, but I'm good.
Just relieved to be home in time for the holidays. It's real exciting.
The soldiers of Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 11th Theater Tactical Signal Brigade, are slated to encase the unit colors early in 2013.
That'll do it for this edition of the Fort Report. Have a great day.